Throughout history, the Stoics have been revered for their profound understanding of human nature, particularly when it comes to relationships and the complexities of love. They mastered the art of detachment, self-control, and emotional resilience, qualities that, when applied correctly, can make you irresistible to others. The Stoics understood that love is not just about passion, it's about mastering the psychology of attraction and creating a powerful, magnetic presence. In this episode, we're diving into 7 powerful tips inspired by the Stoic philosophy to help you become the one they can't resist. Whether you're looking to deepen a current relationship or spark a new one, these strategies will help you cultivate the kind of energy that draws others in. Make sure to watch the video until the end, as each tip builds on the last to create a comprehensive approach to making anyone fall in love with you. And if you find these insights valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts and experiences. Your support helps us continue to bring you content that empowers and enlightens. Chapter 1. Don't give your attention. One of the most powerful tools in the Stoics' arsenal is the ability to control where they place their attention. In the context of attraction, this principle can be incredibly effective. When you don't give your attention freely, you create an air of mystery and intrigue. People are naturally drawn to what they can't easily have, and by withholding your focus, you become more desirable. Attention is a form of currency in relationships. When you give it away too easily, it loses its value. The Stoics understood this well. They believed in conserving their energy and only investing it where it truly mattered. In today's world, this means not constantly texting, calling, or being available at a moment's notice. When you're too accessible, you become predictable, and predictability often leads to a lack of excitement. By pulling back and not giving your attention so readily, you create a sense of scarcity. People want what they can't have, and when you're not always available, you become a challenge, a puzzle that others want to solve. This doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. Rather, it's about understanding your own value and not diminishing it by being too eager or available. The Stoics also valued self-discipline and emotional control. By not giving your attention easily, you demonstrate these qualities, which can be incredibly attractive. You show that you're not swayed by every impulse or desire, and that you have a life full of purpose and meaning beyond any one person. This kind of independence is magnetic because it signals that you're a person of depth and substance, not just someone who is looking for validation or approval from others. Moreover, when you don't give your attention freely, you give the other person space to miss you. Absence, as they say, makes the heart grow fonder. By stepping back, you allow them the opportunity to reflect on what you bring into their life and why they're drawn to you in the first place. This reflection often deepens their feelings of attraction, making them more invested in pursuing you. In summary, the first step to making someone fall in love with you is to be mindful of where you place your attention. Don't give it away freely. Instead, reserve it for those moments when it truly counts. By doing so, you create an aura of mystery, value, and depth that is impossible to resist. Chapter 2. Stop investing. Investment in a relationship, whether emotional, time-based, or financial, should be reciprocal. The Stoics believed in the balance of give and take, recognizing that overinvestment can lead to resentment and imbalance. In the realm of love and attraction, if you find yourself constantly giving without receiving, it's time to pull back. Overinvesting can often be mistaken for love or commitment, but it's crucial to understand that true attraction thrives on balance. When one person is doing all the work, planning dates, initiating contact, making sacrifices, it creates a dynamic where the other person becomes complacent and the relationship starts to lose its spark. The Stoics would caution against this kind of overinvestment, as it not only diminishes your value in the eyes of the other person, but also leads to emotional exhaustion. When you stop overinvesting, you signal that your time and energy are valuable. You show that you're not willing to chase or beg for attention, and that you expect a certain level of effort in return. This creates a sense of equality in the relationship where both parties feel the need to contribute and invest in each other. The Stoics also understood the importance of self-respect in relationships. By pulling back on your investment, you demonstrate that you respect yourself enough not to be taken for granted. This self-respect is crucial for maintaining a healthy dynamic where both partners feel equally valued and appreciated. Additionally, when you stop over-investing, you give the other person space to step up. They may realize that they've been taking you for granted and start to put more effort into the relationship. This shift in dynamics can reignite the passion and excitement that may have been lost, making the other person more eager to pursue you. Moreover, stopping your overinvestment allows you to redirect your energy toward yourself. Instead of pouring all your resources into someone who may not fully appreciate it, you can focus on your own growth, hobbies, and interests. This not only boosts your self-esteem, but also makes you more attractive as an individual. People are naturally drawn to those who have a strong sense of self and who do not rely on others for their happiness. When you prioritize yourself and stop over-investing in the relationship, it often leads to a healthier connection. The other person may begin to see you in a new light, recognizing your value and wanting to invest more in the relationship themselves. This can create a more balanced and fulfilling dynamic, where both partners are equally invested in each other's happiness and well-being. Another important aspect of stopping overinvestment is that it prevents you from losing yourself in the relationship. The Stoics believed in the importance of maintaining one's identity and not becoming overly dependent on others. By ensuring that your investment is balanced, you retain your individuality and avoid the trap of losing sight of your own needs and desires. In conclusion, stop investing more than you're receiving. The Stoics would advise you to seek balance in all things, including relationships. By pulling back and reserving your investment, you maintain your self-respect, create a sense of equality, and reignite the spark that keeps the relationship alive. When you prioritize yourself and ensure that your investment is matched, you set the stage for a healthier, more balanced, and ultimately more rewarding relationship. Chapter 3. You don't need them for your happiness. One of the most empowering teachings of Stoicism is the belief that true happiness and fulfillment come from within. The Stoics understood that relying on external factors, including relationships, for our sense of happiness is a recipe for disappointment and emotional turbulence. When it comes to love and attraction, this principle is incredibly powerful. By internalizing the belief that you don't need someone else to be happy, you project a sense of independence and confidence that is incredibly attractive. People who are overly dependent on their relationships for happiness tend to exhibit behaviors that can be off-putting: neediness, desperation, and clinginess. These traits often push others away because they create a sense of imbalance and emotional burden. The Stoics, however, advocated for a life where one's contentment and peace of mind are not tied to any single person or outcome. They believed in cultivating a strong inner life, one that is rich with personal purpose, self-love, and resilience. When you internalize the idea that your happiness doesn't depend on someone else, you automatically become less emotionally reactive. You're less likely to get upset over small disagreements or feel crushed when things don't go your way in the relationship. This emotional stability is magnetic because it shows that you are in control of your life and emotions. It demonstrates that you are not looking for someone to complete you, but rather, you are a complete person in your own right. This mindset also shifts the power dynamic in your favor. When someone realizes that you are not dependent on them for your happiness, they will naturally be drawn to you because you are not seeking their validation. This doesn't mean that you don't care about the relationship, it simply means that you value yourself and your own happiness enough to not make it contingent on another person's actions or presence. Moreover, by not needing someone for your happiness, you allow the relationship to grow naturally without the pressure of unrealistic expectations. Relationships that are built on a foundation of mutual respect and independence are often stronger and more enduring because both individuals bring their best selves into the partnership. There's a sense of freedom that comes with knowing that you're with someone because you want to be, not because you need to be. The Stoics would encourage you to focus on personal growth, self-care, and the pursuit of your passions as a way to cultivate inner happiness. By doing so, you not only become more attractive to others, but also more fulfilled in your own life. You'll find that relationships become an addition to your happiness, not the sole source of it. In summary, to be the one they can't resist, start by embracing the Stoic principle that your happiness comes from within. When you don't rely on someone else to make you happy, you exude confidence, emotional stability, and a sense of self-worth that is deeply appealing. This mindset not only enhances your attractiveness, but also leads to healthier, more balanced relationships. Chapter 4. Stop being too emotionally dependent. Emotional independence is one of the cornerstones of a healthy and attractive relationship. The Stoics were masters of emotional resilience, teaching that we should not allow external circumstances or people to dictate our inner state. In the context of attraction, this means that to be truly irresistible, you must cultivate a sense of emotional independence where your mood, happiness, and sense of self-worth are not entirely dependent on another person. When you're too emotionally dependent, you may find yourself riding an emotional roller coaster based on how your partner or the person you're interested in is behaving. If they're attentive and affectionate, you feel on top of the world. But if they're distant or unavailable, your mood plummets. This emotional volatility can be exhausting for both you and your partner. It places undue pressure on the relationship and often leads to a cycle of neediness and insecurity, which can drive the other person away. The Stoics would advise against this kind of dependency. Instead, they would encourage you to find stability within yourself. By practicing emotional independence, you send a powerful message that you are in control of your own emotions and that your happiness doesn't hinge on someone else's actions or approval. This kind of emotional self-sufficiency is incredibly attractive because it shows that you are strong, confident, and self-assured. One way to cultivate emotional independence is by developing a strong sense of self. This means knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you want out of life, independent of anyone else's opinions or desires. When you have a clear sense of your own identity and purpose, you are less likely to lose yourself in a relationship or become overly reliant on another person for emotional support. Another important aspect of emotional independence is setting boundaries. The Stoics were firm believers in the importance of personal boundaries, knowing when to say no, when to step back, and when to prioritize your own needs. By setting healthy boundaries, you protect your emotional well-being and ensure that you are not giving too much of yourself in a relationship. This balance is key to maintaining a sense of independence and self-respect. It's also important to practice self-soothing techniques. When you feel overwhelmed by emotions, instead of turning to your partner for comfort, try to manage your feelings on your own first. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply taking some time to yourself, learning to self-soothe is a crucial skill for emotional independence. It allows you to process your emotions without placing the burden on someone else, which in turn makes you more attractive because you're not relying on your partner to fix your problems. In relationships, emotional independence fosters a healthier dynamic where both partners feel free to be themselves without fear of being overly dependent on each other. It creates space for the relationship to grow organically without the pressure of constant emotional validation. This balance of independence and connection is what makes relationships truly fulfilling. In conclusion, stop being too emotionally dependent if you want to be the one they can't resist. Embrace the Stoic principles of self-sufficiency and emotional resilience, and you'll find that not only do you become more attractive, but your relationships become more stable, balanced, and fulfilling. Chapter 5. Be ready to cut ties. One of the most powerful lessons from Stoic philosophy is the importance of detachment. The Stoics believed that we should not become overly attached to things or people because attachment often leads to suffering. In the context of relationships, this means being ready and willing to cut ties when necessary, a mindset that paradoxically makes you more attractive and irresistible. Being ready to cut ties doesn't mean that you're cold or unfeeling. Rather, it means that you recognize your own worth and are not willing to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you. The Stoics taught that we should approach life with an understanding that nothing is permanent and that we should not cling to things or people out of fear or insecurity. This detachment is not about being indifferent, it's about being wise and discerning in your relationships. When you are ready to walk away from a relationship if it's not meeting your needs or aligning with your values, you communicate a powerful message that you are not afraid to be alone and that you will not settle for less than what you deserve. This kind of confidence is incredibly attractive because it shows that you value yourself and are not dependent on someone else for your happiness or self-worth. Being ready to cut ties also means having the courage to enforce your boundaries. If someone is not treating you with the respect and care that you deserve, the Stoics would advise you to step back and reevaluate the relationship. Staying in a toxic or unfulfilling relationship out of fear of being alone is a form of self-betrayal. By being willing to walk away, you protect your own well-being and maintain your self-respect. Moreover, when you are not afraid to cut ties, you often find that others are more eager to pursue you. There's something incredibly alluring about someone who is not afraid to walk away. It creates a sense of mystery and challenge, making others more likely to value and appreciate you. This doesn't mean playing games. It's about understanding your own value and not settling for anything less. The Stoics would also remind you that detachment allows you to see situations more clearly. When you're not overly attached, you can evaluate relationships from a place of logic and reason, rather than being clouded by emotions. This clarity helps you make better decisions about who to invest your time and energy in, leading to more fulfilling and meaningful relationships. In relationships, being ready to cut ties also keeps you from falling into patterns of codependency. It allows you to maintain your independence and self-respect, which are crucial for a healthy dynamic. By being willing to walk away, you ensure that your relationships are based on mutual respect, care, and alignment, rather than fear or neediness. In summary, to be the one they can't resist, adopt the Stoic mindset of being ready to cut ties. By valuing your own well-being and not being afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve you, you project a sense of confidence and self-respect that is deeply attractive. This mindset not only protects you, but also ensures that your relationships are healthy, balanced, and fulfilling. Chapter 6: Stop seeking validation. In the pursuit of love and attraction, one of the most common pitfalls people fall into is the constant need for validation. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, warned against this very tendency. They taught that true fulfillment and inner peace come from self-acceptance and not from the approval or validation of others. When it comes to romantic relationships, this principle is crucial. If you want to be the one they can't resist, you must stop seeking validation from others and instead find it within yourself. The need for validation often stems from a lack of self-confidence or self-worth. When we don't fully believe in our own value, we look to others to confirm it for us. This might manifest as constantly seeking compliments, reassurance, or attention from a partner or someone we're interested in. While it's natural to enjoy positive feedback, relying on it for your sense of self-worth is a slippery slope that can lead to insecurity and dependence. The Stoics believed in cultivating an internal locus of control, meaning that your sense of worth and happiness should come from within, not from external sources. When you're constantly seeking validation, you give away your power to others, allowing them to dictate how you feel about yourself. This kind of emotional dependence can be exhausting for both you and your partner, leading to a dynamic where you're always looking for their approval, and they feel pressured to constantly reassure you. Moreover, the constant need for validation can be unattractive. It signals to others that you're not fully confident in yourself, which can be a turn-off. People are generally drawn to those who are self-assured and comfortable in their own skin. When you stop seeking validation from others, you project a sense of confidence and independence that is incredibly appealing. It shows that you know your worth and don't need anyone else to affirm it for you. To stop seeking validation, start by building a strong foundation of self-confidence. This involves recognizing your own strengths, accomplishments, and intrinsic value, independent of what others think. The Stoics would advise you to practice self-reflection and self-compassion, focusing on your personal growth and achievements rather than constantly comparing yourself to others. By doing so, you reinforce your sense of self-worth and become less reliant on external validation. Another important aspect of this process is learning to trust yourself. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-reliance and inner wisdom. When you trust your own judgment and decisions, you're less likely to seek others' approval. This doesn't mean you should ignore feedback or advice, but rather that you should prioritize your own inner voice and intuition over the opinions of others. When you trust yourself, you exude a quiet confidence that is magnetic to those around you. It's also essential to develop healthy coping mechanisms for dealing with criticism or rejection. The Stoics taught that we should not be overly affected by the opinions of others, whether positive or negative. Instead, we should focus on what is within our control, our actions, responses, and mindset. When you encounter criticism or rejection, instead of seeking validation to soothe your ego, use it as an opportunity to reflect and grow. This resilience is not only attractive, but also crucial for maintaining emotional independence. In relationships, stopping the need for validation helps you avoid the trap of people-pleasing. When you're not constantly seeking approval, you're free to be your authentic self, without worrying about how others will perceive you. This authenticity is incredibly appealing because it shows that you're comfortable with who you are and aren't trying to fit into someone else's expectations. It also allows the relationship to be more genuine and less driven by superficial concerns. Finally, remember that validation from others is fleeting, but self-validation is enduring. When you learn to validate yourself, you create a stable and lasting sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on the whims of others. This internal strength is what makes you truly irresistible, because it shows that you are whole and complete in yourself. In summary, to be the one they can't resist, stop seeking validation from others. Embrace the Stoic principles of self-reliance, inner wisdom, and emotional resilience. By doing so, you build a strong sense of self-worth that isn't contingent on external approval. This confidence and independence make you more attractive and lead to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Chapter 7. Don't always show your care and affection. The final principle that will make you irresistible is one that the Stoics understood well: the power of restraint. In a world where we're often encouraged to wear our hearts on our sleeves and express our emotions freely, there's something to be said for the value of holding back. Not always showing your care and affection can actually deepen the connection and make your partner or the person you're interested in value you more. It's about creating a sense of mystery, anticipation, and desire, key ingredients in making yourself truly unforgettable. The Stoics believed in moderation and the importance of not overindulging in any aspect of life, including emotions. They taught that while it's important to care for others, it's equally important not to overwhelm them with constant displays of affection. In romantic relationships, this concept is crucial. While it might seem counterintuitive, sometimes holding back your affection can make it more meaningful and powerful when you do express it. When you constantly shower someone with attention and affection, it can lose its impact. The other person might begin to take it for granted or feel suffocated by the intensity of your emotions. On the other hand, when you occasionally hold back, you create a sense of longing and anticipation. The person starts to wonder about your feelings and is more likely to appreciate and value the moments when you do show your care and affection. This principle is rooted in the idea of scarcity. What is scarce is often more valuable. By not always being readily available or overly affectionate, you create a dynamic where your attention and care are seen as special and not something to be taken for granted. This doesn't mean playing games or being emotionally manipulative. Rather, it's about striking a balance between expressing your feelings and maintaining a sense of individuality and independence. The Stoics would encourage you to be mindful and intentional in your displays of affection. Instead of constantly seeking to please the other person with grand gestures or frequent declarations of love, focus on making your actions meaningful. When you do show your care, let it be through thoughtful gestures that demonstrate your understanding and appreciation of the other person's needs and desires. This kind of intentionality makes your affection more impactful and cherished. Moreover, by not always showing your care and affection, you allow the other person to miss you. Absence, as they say, makes the heart grow fonder. When you're not constantly present, it gives the other person the space to reflect on their feelings for you and to realize how much they value your presence in their life. This space and distance can actually strengthen the emotional bond and make your connection deeper and more meaningful. Another aspect of this principle is the importance of maintaining your own life and interests outside of the relationship. The Stoics believed in the value of self-sufficiency and the pursuit of personal excellence. When you have a rich, fulfilling life that doesn't revolve entirely around the other person, you naturally create a sense of distance that makes your care and affection more valuable. It shows that you are a whole person with your own passions and pursuits, which makes you more attractive and less likely to be taken for granted. This doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It's about being measured and intentional in your actions. By not always showing your care and affection, you create a dynamic of mutual respect and admiration. The other person understands that your affection is not something to be demanded or expected, but rather something to be appreciated when it is given. In relationships, this approach can prevent the development of unhealthy patterns where one person becomes overly reliant on the other for emotional support. It encourages both partners to maintain their independence and self-respect, which is essential for a healthy and balanced relationship. In conclusion, to be the one they can't resist, embrace the Stoic principle of restraint. By not always showing your care and affection, you create a sense of scarcity and value that deepens the connection and makes your attention more meaningful. This balance of presence and absence, coupled with a rich, independent life, makes you truly irresistible and leads to more fulfilling and lasting relationships. As we wrap up this episode, it's essential to recognize the timeless wisdom that the Stoics offer us when it comes to love and relationships. The Stoics mastered the art of understanding human nature, and their teachings continue to be relevant today. By applying these 7 powerful tips, you're not just making yourself more attractive or irresistible to others, you're cultivating a deeper sense of self-awareness, confidence, and inner strength. Remember, true love and attraction are not about manipulation or playing games. They're about being authentic, maintaining your independence, and understanding the delicate balance of giving and receiving. When you don't seek validation, when you're not emotionally dependent, and when you know when to hold back, you create a dynamic that is both magnetic and healthy. The key takeaway from this episode is that being the one they can't resist isn't about changing who you are to fit someone else's expectations. It's about embracing who you truly are, knowing your worth, and letting that confidence shine through in every aspect of your interactions. When you do this, you'll naturally attract the right kind of people into your life, those who appreciate you for who you are and who are drawn to your strength, wisdom, and authenticity. Thank you for watching. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Share your thoughts and let us know which of these tips resonated most with you. Stay tuned for more episodes where we dive deeper into the art of Stoic living and mastering the psychology of relationships. Until next time, keep striving for excellence in everything you do, especially in love.